As you can see, there's a wooden box here. That wooden box is going to be something that others have done, but I have not, and we're gonna make it what I need. It's gonna slide right in that corner. Now, you're probably asking, what's this box? This box is going to hold switch panel. It's also going to hold a few other things. So it's going to have a DC to DC charger and a 12 volt 100 amp hour battery. Those two things combined with the switch panel will allow me to have power in the bed when the truck is not on. So, what do I need to do that? Well, first, I need to take my mess that I have here, which is some 4-gauge power wire, 4-gauge ground wire. We have 8-gauge ground and power wire. And then we have some solar 10-gauge power and ground, which has the solar plugs already on it. On top of that, we have a Renogy MPPT DC to DC charge controller, or battery charger, I guess is what it's considered. This will be able to take our solar inputs when we put them on. It will take output to the battery to charge the battery, and it will take input from the alternator as well. And then there's an accessory wire, which I'll explain how I plan on using it, but may not use initially, because I don't have things set up to be permanent like others that I know that have. The battery that I'm going to be using is a Wattsite Smart Mini. It's a 12 volt 100 amp hour, and this comes with a app that you can monitor and everything. It's Bluetooth. So I'm going to start doing that, and I'll time lapse it. And then the plan is that at the bed, right up there in the corner, I'm going to go ahead and mount 2 bus bars. One is going to be my ground bus bar, one's going to be my power bus bar. That way I have direct connection to those specifically. Everything will be tied from that. This will make it so that I can go ahead and quick disconnect things, remove them as need be. They no longer will have to be permanent. And for me, not having things permanent is quite helpful, because I don't always need these things in my Jeep. My Jeep's my daily driver as well as my off-road vehicle, and when it's off-road I can take the things I need when I need them. Alright, step 1 of battery box is going to be, I'm going to run this cable through there, which comes up to the battery. It's going to go all the way down to here, and it's going to go up underneath, and then we're going to come through. There's the hole back here that's in the back of the bed. I'm going to feed the cable in through that and down to my wire pull. That way I'm not trying to snake it through the opposite way, which would suck. So I'm going to hop in the bed, put the cable through, which, let me show you that cable. It looks like this. I already put one end on it, and it has tubing around it along with heat protective tape. So I'm going to push that through the hole there. This end's going to stay. I haven't put anything on it yet because I wanted to make sure it was long enough. If not, then I join it together with another piece. And so I'm going to push this through the hole. Alright, so rather than bore you guys with building a wood box, which, thanks to my father-in-law, he helped me to get one built together really quickly, I will show you what it looks like now. So after everything's put together, we have the Renogy DC to DC charger, some fans to help circulate air, the Watt Cycle 12 volt 100 amp hour battery. Down here, looks like Spider's tried to already take over in here, is a controller that turns the fans on when it hits 95 degrees. And then a Nylite, Nylite switch panel, which will also give me the DC power that I need to power my fridge, which it does power. Right now, I currently have it powering via solar, which is going back here to my standalone solar panel, which is a 100-watt solar panel. It's getting approximately 61 to 62 watts of charging right now, minus what it drops because of the little device running. Next up, because I've ran the power cable that goes from the bed back here, which I don't know if you'll be able to see. So there's a bed back there. Goes down, goes into frame rail down here. Let's see if you can see it. It there. Follows up and comes up out of the frame rail here, over in there. Then I have it coming up to the battery. I haven't connected it to the battery because I shouldn't have it connected until I need it. Next up is ground. So I found out that there's a grounding point on the tire carrier area of the frame. So what I'm gonna do, let's go down here and look for, there's that spot right about there, that general area. I can't tell if it's seeable, right there. That one I'm going to take off and run my cable from there over, up, and through the bed here, out through the little hole that's on the side. That way, it's not too close to the muffler overall, or exhaust rather, and that will give me a good grounding point. So I'm going to run that now, and I will show you what it looks like here in a moment because no one wants to watch that. Got the wire run, have it going up through the cross member that goes underneath, coming out over here, coming up and into the bed, and then it's coming up through the hole there and hidden behind panel, and then going up to the front where I'll have a couple of bus bars put in so that I can have ground and power always ready back here to go, which then will lead back to that box having a ground and a power wire. So let me go get those wired in and I'll pop this together. Off we'll go. So we have the end product. As you can tell, it's very dirty now. That's because this is about 3 or 4 weeks after, and it's been in use. Up front's the fridge, which is being ran power behind it and coming up through this power plug here. So that's kind of its permanent place. And then up behind here, I currently have the solar cord, which is over here. That solar cord is not being connected to anything. But the other piece, it's kind of an extra long piece, but I did make it extra long for a reason. Just so if I need to move stuff around, I can. And it's coming up here, and it's going to this bus bar system. Based upon what I've seen so far, I do not have the inline breaker anymore. I'll probably put it back eventually, but I might upsize it. The 40 amp was actually limiting how much wattage could come through from the alternator. Without it, I was getting about 530 watts, and with it, I was saying maybe 400. The difference between that is actually quite significant. matter of hours compared to minutes for certain circumstances. This will be added to. Plan is to have a dedicated solar panel to charge it when the vehicle's not running, when on trips, etc. So hopefully this is kind of a cool little dive in. All of the pieces that I used will be linked in the description. Hopefully this is kind of a cool thing. There's a few other pieces that are plugged into it, and I'll show those in some shorts, just because they don't really need to be part of this video. But hopefully you like this, and if you did, hit that like button, maybe consider subscribing, leave a comment on questions. All those things are things that I love to answer, but I don't typically get. So let me know what you think. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.